You have to be a little more proactive on your side because will the club that you're with help you or will they not? Sometimes they don't want to because they have other priorities. But the fact that it's so positive in the sense that coaches like her see that you're the one making the contact and taking the initiative. It's what they like those players. Now, will you start wherever you go? Will you play a lot? Will you be like the rah-rah girl on the player? I've known some schools that recruit rah-rah kids just to be part of the program because they inspire everybody and they give them a scholarship. So there's a lot of ways. Every school has a different way of viewing who they're really looking for. Like you do it on your side, what you like, you can use a service that will help you do that. I can help you with that. So there's many options out there, so it's not gloomy like it is outside. Everybody's tall, everybody's short, but you all have something. And like you say, if you get that connection with the coach, they will find a place for you somewhere in that school, in that program.
No, say, how many of you guys have gone through this process with an older sibling? Anybody? So this is everyone's first time? Okay. I'm just going to keep reiterating, just ask questions, get your lists, talk where, geographically, where do you want to go? And the most important thing is the school, the education that you're going to get out of this. So look at that. Be smart. It took me actually 20 years to graduate. So I started in 1980 and I finally graduated in 2000. So went to the national team, went overseas, so then for me it was a different path. But that is the most important thing for you guys, is the education, is that diploma when you walk out, and the experience. You want to have a good experience. I think those two things are really, really, really important. I was really, really blessed with, when I went back to Concordia my first year, I think we ended up 15 and 14 or 15 and 13. And the parents came up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. And I was like, we didn't have a winning season, like we're right there. And they're like, no, this is the best experience my daughter has had. So winning is not everything. And then in a year we turn around and we win conference and they're the same people. So looking at that, look at those things. It's the experience, the education and the experience. Do you get along with the girls on the team? Do you like them? Because you're going to spend a lot of time with them. So it's important, really important. Look at that. And be proactive. I had a player that was so persistent with me that I was like, okay, I will make a spot for you. She ended up being my starting libero by her senior year. Someone that I said, I really don't have space. I don't think you can beat out these people. She was persistent. She won my heart over. Not all coaches have my heart. I get it, but she did. She ended up starting her senior year. So, if you have a dream, you want to go somewhere, go. You'll never know until you go and ask. Do the research, right?
There's always the option that if you don't really want to play volleyball, you feel like all the team won't allow you to play volleyball. There's always club volleyball at that school that you go represent the school at the club level. You have a uniform, you practice like you're on the part of the school, and you can compete. That's another option.
I always say, if you couldn't play volleyball, would you go to that school? Would you stay at that school? I think that's very important. So that's the key, Or if volleyball is the most important thing, then maybe that doesn't matter.
Do you look at kids, do you prefer kids who are solely focused on volleyball, or those that are they're good at volleyball but also good at other sports? That they have multiple interests in that.
I think that's a good question. I think when I played, I did volleyball, soccer, softball, track, and you could go to college and do a couple sports. I think most Division I schools, it's very tough. I would say Division II, Division III, maybe some NAIA schools, you can have that crossover. Coaches don't like to share a lot, their players, I think, and it comes down to that. I'm looking at a couple track athletes right now that want to come over, and that would work because one's a fall and one's a spring. Basketball, I've seen it happen, but basketball coaches usually don't want to share with us volleyball people, but there are some occasions you can do that. Soccer and volleyball are the same in college, so that doesn't work. So you're gonna have to look at what's the fall and the spring sports, and if the coaches are willing to work together with that. I wish there was more of that, but unfortunately I think all sports have gone to the way of just, you gotta be one-dimensional and one sport. But there still are schools out there that have that, so if that's what you want, ask.
A very good program called Western Undergraduate Exchange. Yeah, it's a package or a program that West Coast colleges from the Rocky Mountains to the West Coast, 7 or 8 states and colleges, they all agree that if one student from one state goes to another state, that state of the incoming student will pay up to 150% of that tuition. So basically, you're pretty much going to college for free out of state, somewhere on the West Coast, Western Undergraduate Exchange. I think for the younger you are, the bigger the better opportunity getting some money on the side. So that may be another incentive for somebody close to say, oh, you're getting some money from that program. I'll take you, I'll find a spot for you on that program, because that's a financial burden off them, and they may be working some playtime. So that could be another little gun in your holster, so to speak. That's part of your discussion with the coach.
Yeah, that's good, because I mean, if you go and you talk about in-state or out-of-state, that typically is a state school. So if I'm in California and I want to go to Colorado State, it's going to cost me more, right? Or someone from Colorado when they came to UC Irvine. Anybody outside of California, it's almost double. So if you're in-state, I think the UC is about 20-something, might almost be 30 now. And the out-of-state is almost 50 to 60 now. So it's almost like a private school. Private schools, you don't have that. It'll be, so it's another good question to ask. Is it, do you have in-state or out-of-state tuition? And are you covering that? What do I have to cover? So it's a good question to ask too. So yeah, we didn't have out-of-state scholarships at UC Irvine. UCLA does. So UCs are very different. So we only had in-state. So when I recruited Cass out of Texas, the deal was that for a couple years they paid that other half, and then by her senior year she got the completely double. So I want to try and confuse you guys, but ask those simple questions. Especially the financial, you know, there'll be things you'll have to pay for, you know, all the extras, you know, the dorm stuff, and the bigger schools now, that's the nice thing about maybe the Pac-12 and the Big 12 and some of the bigger conferences, is they actually pay their players a stipend. So they're actually giving their players money. So if you go to TCU, some of those places, they have that. Those are little extra perks that the big conferences have. You'll be on TV more in the bigger conferences, some of those things. Like I said, it's up to you guys. What do you guys want is the question.
So the conferences like the Mountain West, what level of player would they be looking at compared to?
Mountain West is in the Mountain West? That's like
Northern Arizona, I think.
Yeah. I think it's another mid-major conference. Again, I think they're not at the Big 12, Pac-12,
right.
That conference level. Maybe appropriate like Big West.
Yeah.
The Big West, that same level conference.
Yeah,
Only one or maybe two schools will go to the conference or go to the tournament. Those type of things. But and that's the thing. My roster size is 19, so there's a lot of spots for a lot of colleges. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
I have listing of all the schools, all divisions, of all states, so I can provide that to you to help you get an idea of what schools are up to, what levels they're at. It's a little bit about volleyball performance with them. Kind of helps you, because if you go to a winning school, will you play a lot? If you go to a school that has, so okay, you'll probably play. Or you go to a school that's struggling, you'll probably start. So it all becomes part of the process. But at the same time, it helps you find out, you can check that school, find out the academic background, what they're looking for, financial aid, what they're looking for based on your GPA. I mean, everybody has a different GPA. And then, what kind of size town is it like? Is it on the river? Is it up in the mountain? Is it out in the middle of nowhere? And you don't know, but it's kind of fun to go through that whole process. So I can help you get started on that. You can take her wisdom, what she showed you, and keep that in mind moving forward.
You
The
can
sooner you
have,
start, better, because club season coming up, and they don't know who you are, but if you get their name in there, they have lists that they go by that change. Oh, I like this player, I like this player. I've never heard this player. Oh, I'll move him up. Coach will check you out. Not a list, but you can get let them know you're there. If you don't let them know you're there, then you don't accept.
also, most of the D1 programs also require you to go to summer school. So look at that also. So that's why they moved the 18s JOs earlier. So a lot of those kids go to summer school. So they require that. So look at some of that. We don't do that at Concordia, but some schools will. So what I didn't talk about, semester versus quarters. But I think maybe the players might, I don't know, they might like the quarter system better. So the quarters, it has pros and cons, so we'll start with the quarters. The quarters, you don't start school until October? Yeah. You're required to check in usually the first week or second week of August. So your training camp starts, and then you travel and you have all your preseason tournaments. So it's cool because you get to play and you don't have homework. So you get to travel, you get to do all that. Your life is a little bit easier. But then you go to school until June, sometimes the end of June. And then you have July, maybe a week or two, and then they're going to ask you to come back and go to summer school. So you don't have a lot of your time. You don't have a lot of time off in that scenario. Quarters, you start, school's going to start like 2 weeks after you get in there. You're hectic, your first year, it's frantic. I tell anybody that's in the semester, go to class, do your homework, show up. That's all you have to do. You'll make it. If you stop going, it just gets overwhelming. By the time you travel, you got this, you got that, you got weightlifting, you have to go to the training room, you've got, it gets just, take a breath, it'll hit you, as long as you go and do the work, you'll be fine.
Do most levels, like where you are, do they have academic assistants and tutors for the kids when they're traveling? And
they will have, most programs will have all of that, so that's another good question. What support do you have? Do you proctor tests on the road? Those type of things. And then also ask, so the quarter system you're done, or semesters you're done in May. And then you might have May, June, so you might have like 2 months at home. So that's good too. And then some do beach together with indoor, some are completely separate. So at Concordia, if you're an indoor player, you do both. So most of my girls were kind of like, I don't know if I want to do beach, but they did it and they loved it. So we do the cross training. And the academic center is very important. Our school does it through, we have an academic center for everybody. They don't cater to athletics. We do go in, you sign up, they keep spots open for athletes, but everyone is in the same process as everybody at my school. At USC, you get first priority. So typically you get the classes that you want.
How do you first contact the coach that you want to play with?
Email, you can go on their website, you can look at their email, send them an email, have your coach contact them, high school club, do they know him? Or one of their assistants, you can always do that, but probably just you writing the email. And then other people saying, hey, I have this player, you might want to look at her. We get those calls a lot. So that networking. Or just pick up their phone and call them. And they'll ask you, hey, well, we probably want to see video. That will be the first thing. What are your grades? Those type of things. You'll probably have to send transcripts.
the senior showcase helpful?
Yes, and that's a good point. The senior showcase, typically, most coaches didn't go to that, but now because there's so many transfers and people leaving and you got to fill spots, a lot of coaches go to those. So I would definitely do that, definitely. I'm here for you guys. If nothing, any other questions? Nothing? Well, I am the type of coach, if you have any questions, my email is online. Feel free to just ask me anytime you want. Give me a call. My phone number's on there too. I will help you guys. If you're not coming to my school, I'm not going to pay attention to you. That's not my style. If you need help, send me an email. I'd be more than happy to help you. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you.